Hey everyone, welcome back to another Ark Survival Evolved guide. Today I just want to show you that there are some hidden settings in the game that you can only change if you're playing on PC. My copy of the game is through Steam, so through Steam on PC you can change certain settings if you go into the actual game files, settings that the in-game settings don't offer you. So to find it, I have two main storage drives here, so you just have to find which storage drive your game is saved on. So mine is on this main drive. You're going to go to Program Files 86. You're going to look for Steam. You're going to look for Steam Apps, Common, Ark, Shooter Game. Let's see here. It is Saved, Config, Windows No Editor, and then the two most important things you're going to have here are Game and Game User Settings. So if we go into Game, you'll notice that this has a bunch of different settings saved. And this is, I guess the game reads this file when you boot up the game. Tells you all your different settings here. So in the last video, I showed my Ark settings in game, and I talked about breeding and how you can always get a 100% imprint with just one interaction, one pet or one walk or one feeding. And so the way you do that is you have to add a line to this file game here. And again, before we show you that, this is the path. So you go PC, your main drive, program files, Steam, Steam Apps, Common, Ark, Shooter Game, Saved, Config, Windows No Editor. Then you're looking for Game. Okay, so if we scroll down here to the bottom, it says, I added this line here. So it's baby imprint amount multiplier, and then equals 100. I also noticed that all the values in here had 6 zeros on its decimal, so I added 6 zeros here. I don't know how necessary that is, but I just wanted to fit the format of the file. So, baby imprint amount multiplier equals 100. What this does is it guarantees that every time you interact with your dino, it'll make it 100%. Or every time you interact with your baby dino, it'll do a 100% imprint on the first try. Because what this does is it just multiplies what you would actually get by 100. So let's say you were to only get 5% on an imprint and you had to do 20 imprints. This would times that 5 by 100, which is 500, but it doesn't go over 100. So essentially you just get a max 100 imprint. So I do 100, that way even if I get a 1% imprint value, it still maxes out. So this is the setting you need if you want to guarantee a 100% imprint with just one interaction with your dino. All right. The other important file is game user settings. There are a couple things in here that are kind of important. Let me scroll down to the bottom and I'll show you guys some things. So first thing I wanted to show is under server settings, they're split up into sections, right? Player info, things like that. Under server settings, you have a difficulty offset, but this setting right here, override official difficulty, is not in the in-game settings. So what you can do is you can come in here and you can change this value and it will change the level of all the dinos on your maps. So if you change this, if this is a 5, it always times the number by 30. So if this is a 5.0, then your max level dinos will be 150 because it's 5 times 30. If you want max level of 180, you can do 6, which I'm doing here, and it will mean 6 times 30 is 180. So your dinos will go in increments of 6. So you'll see a level 6 dino, a level 12, a level 18, so on and so forth. And the max level you can see is 180 in the wild. Note this will also affect the max levels of things like wyverns and drakes, which have a different level cap, and tech dinos as well. And now if you come down here all the way to the bottom past all this stuff, you'll notice this is where modders will put things in. So Awesome Spyglass is a mod that was added that I added to my game. Custom level distribution was a mod. Structures Plus was a mod. So for mod makers, this is where they write all their code, all their values that the game reads when you're playing through, when you implement the mod into your game. So I just want to show you guys those two important files, game and game user settings. And again, you go through PC, your main drive, program files 86, Steam, Steam apps, common, ARC, shooter game, saved, config, Windows no editor, and then you're in game and game user settings. And there are tons of things that you can find in here, but most of these settings are in the game and visible. Like before you boot up a single player world, all those settings that are in front of you, most of these are just in there. But there are some, like this one that I added, the baby imprint multiplier, that is not in the single player settings. One other thing I want to note is this setting. I've rented a private server before, and this setting was available on the private server. So I know this setting exists in the game, but for some reason they don't give you access to it in a single player world. So anyways, those are just a couple things I wanted to show you guys. Not very many people know about it. It can change your game experience entirely, right? Just like, it can completely change your breeding, so you can always get a 100% imprint. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed and found this useful, and I will catch you guys in the next guide. See ya.